Hello and welcome back to the real Popcorn and Plot Holes, where the real host takes over for a much of a jack-o'-moles who apparently don't like how he hosts the show. With me is one of those jack-o'-moles, Luciano.
What are you talking about? I have
Explain
no
yourself.
idea what you're talking about.
I'm not said jack-a-mole.
No, you didn't. You didn't show up either, you motherfucker.
I knew what to do.
In his defense, he made the right call. The other jack-o'-mole, however, was too scared, too much of a coward to join us on this podcast. It was just the three of us.
Yeah.
Yeah. Some might call him the lead jack-a'-mole.
Some might. He was hosting, so most of the blame falls on him.
Yeah, I only trash talked you because he convinced me that he was right.
Right. So
And
you're
I agree with him.
You're just a weak-willed
Sure. Let's go
coward.
with that.
No, that's great. That's where you want to stand. Anyways, unrelated to that, we are finishing our facts movies you missed in 2023. For those uninitiated folks who have found us at this weird time, facts are fantasy, action, comic. Thriller, and it's fine. I got it. I just paused for like a second. And sci-fi is the other one.
Yes.
Movies.
Nice save.
All movies, just so we're clear, it's just thriller. It's not thriller. I just had to pause for a second and chop that all off. It's just thriller. So we had gone through the facts movies in order, and that leaves us at science fiction. And for science fiction, we picked The Creator. The 2023, I guess,
Ken Watanabe vehicle.
Ken Watanabe vehicle. That sounds like the best one.
Yeah.
What's Gemma Chan vehicle?
Gemma Chan. Can you say it when she disappears for like 2/3 of the movie?
She was in the first 5 minutes and the last 5
corpse.
minutes, basically.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, she played corpse. It's really weird to put her as high billing on that movie. It doesn't feel like
This is like second billing, I think.
it didn't. You know how like I don't know if you guys remember watching Executive Decision when I was like Steven Seagal had second billing with Kurt Russell, and then it's like a '90s action of like. And like it's like they have to fly a stealth plane up to connect to like an airplane because there's terrorists on it. Anyways, and so they're all getting on the plane, and then like the plane shifts because of turbulence, and the stealth plane blows up.
Fly out?
Yeah, Seagal dies like instantly at the beginning of the movie, and like no one expects that, right? Because Steven Seagal
now
is
I
such
have to watch this movie.
it's fantastically '90s action movie. Anyways,
Nice.
beyond that really long and terrible
Is
reference.
that what we're watching?
That's what we watched, yeah. But anyway, so The Creator, as we always try to do, we try to be positive about the movies we watch, just in case we end up giving them a negative review. Who knows why we would do that? We're very positive people. But let's start positive. What did you guys like about The Creator?
Well, I can start. I liked a lot about this movie. Actually, I like this movie, although there are a lot of plot holes
You would.
that we have to get through. Yeah, I like things. Luciano, you should try it once in your
I don't know how.
miserable existence.
No shit.
I don't know how.
So this movie was like, we're talking about good things. One, this movie looked really cool. I thought the visuals were really, really good.
Yeah.
I thought the cinematography was really good. I thought the CGI was like, it looked like a really big budget movie. I don't know what the budget was, but it felt like the budget of like, I don't say Avatar, but like, some of it looked more realistic than like most Marvel movies.
Than Avatar.
Yeah.
Right?
Wow. Yeah.
And I don't think like it has half the budget of what like a Marvel movie would get. So on that front, all around looks good, and none of the acting was really bad.
No.
It was all solid. It was a solid movie. Like I said, there are some plot holes, true holes.
What's bigger than a hole? Like a cavern?
Bigger than
A crevice, an
plot
abyss.
crevice? Plot
holes
abyss.
can be holes can be any size. That's still a hole.
No, but it doesn't give you the. If you say hole, do you think like the size of a black hole, or do you think like a hole you dug to shit in the backyard?
I do think of a shithole. All right, I'll allow it. So it has some abyss-sized shitholes.
Great, that's some fine work you've done.
Nice matchup.
But aside from that, it was an enjoyable movie. I enjoyed it. Although it's fucking bummed me out a bit. It's a little depressing. I'm going to say that too.
Burying the lead on a little bit depressing.
Yeah.
But
It's quite a bummer.
So what you're saying is aside from all of the things that are bad, this movie is pretty good.
Hey man, don't
What
do
I'm
this.
saying-
We're focusing on the good parts of the movie. You cannot
What I'm
drag us
sa-
down 5 minutes in.
Okay, I will.
No, what I'm saying is, Luciano, is this movie was depressing and hurt my soul. So I thought someone soulless like yourself would enjoy it.
No, you were wrong.
Yeah.
I was wrong. Ah,
But
dang.
I can see what you mean. No, I liked most of the same things. Like I thought the acting was good and it was pretty, but like I think I like to pick like a weird thing always. And the thing that I think I enjoyed the most in this movie and really legit made me laugh was when they're invading that facility where Alfie is and the door closes and then there's some scientists inside speaking some other language and they have a translator and the translator goes, "Make love to yourself and please make love to your mother." I was like, nice. I like that translator joke. I legit laughed at that. So that was my favorite moment in this movie. Everything else sucked. No, I'm kidding.
There was some weird jokes in it too that were like a little out of place with how dark it was.
Like what?
But they weren't bad jokes. Like some of them were kind of funny. But like that, and like when the family of 6 children gets shot up by the police, I know, hilarious. And then he turns and goes, "Did anyone have fun?" And the one kid like puts his arm on. He's like,
Yeah.
all right.
That was funny though.
It was.
Yeah, there's some. That's what I said.
That
There's a couple
legit
parts that
funny,
were
yeah.
funny. I know, and they were like good. They were like they felt like Marvel again. Going back to Marvel, like those Marvel cut the tension jokes,
Yeah.
but they were actually funny, which Marvel hasn't done in a while
Yeah, that Marvel doesn't love to do funny. Well, good funny.
anymore.
Anymore. I mean, I agree with you guys. I think like we're gonna get into some of the world building in the plot hole section, but in broad strokes, I thought the world building was interesting.
Mhm.
You know, the application of technology. We're it's 2065, so it's like near future essentially. But you know how technology works and how things are operating and how the world is. You know, it's a
How we blame things on things that are not to blame.
yeah. I mean,
For us.
that's not really near future. That's what we do now.
Yeah.
I you know, but I think it was just I wanted to know more about the actual like world politics, world governance, what's happening with AI for real, more than just like the unfortunately very transparent, backdrop to the story to make it flow, right?
Yeah.
And so, I was intrigued by it. You know, the feelings we got when we went to cities, and you know, you got that. It's kind of cyberpunky, I guess, but not fully cyberpunky. Like future
Yeah,
tech mixing with like
it's a bit less dystopic than cyberpunk.
yeah,
Right?
well,
yeah.
It was pretty.
the world
cyberpunky.
wasn't dystopic, just
The situation.
the movie was.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would agree. I did think it was pretty cyberpunky.
Yeah.
Is cyberpunky a
It's
word?
like yeah,
It
it
is
is
now.
sure it is now. It's you know what it is. It's like it's cyberpunky, but it's also kind of like it's not steampunk, but it's like that blend of like weird tech.
Yeah. It's like normalizing very like it's for us it's very like whoa and for them is like just Tuesday. It
Yeah.
has had a little bit of a chappy feel to me as well.
Yeah,
Yeah, like it's like a very tactile, futuristic
Yeah.
tech.
it's they picked a couple things to advance future tech in, and a bunch of other stuff. They're just like there's no need to
No,
advance
it's
this
the
tech.
same. Yeah.
Which is-
Guns.
Is more realistic, right? Like
To me, the one thing where that was kind of when they did like because they usually advance things like in sci-fi movies when it's like near future or like a little bit in the future, they try to make things be technologically advanced. It doesn't make any sense, and they don't do this in this movie actually. But though there's one thing, there's a boat when they're in that boat, and the boat instead of floating on the water, it flows
Yeah, I thought that too.
slightly above the water. I'm like, why?
yeah.
That's the only thing.
That saves on resistance and therefore gas.
But
which we don't
but
need
we're
anymore.
only going to do it for boats, even though we
Yeah,
clearly have
boats.
hover technology. It's
Yeah.
just
Not
for
cars
boats
or tanks.
or anything else.
Yeah,
Yeah.
no, the tanks just go.
The tanks could have used that hover tech.
How
and, I
how
mean,
are you going to roll over shanty towns if you don't have rollers, right?
if you don't have treads? Those are tactile
Yeah.
treads.
All right, let's see. It's it's fine. We were nice. We talked about the thing we liked.
That's
in the movie.
our positive parts of the film.
That was the positive. Listen, it's not all bad. It's not. Listen, this is what we do. Fuck you guys. You came here to listen to us trash this movie.
Yeah,
and
you knew what
know
you were
it.
doing. You knew
So
what
fuck
you were
you for
doing when you
judging
played
us.
this. Yeah.
Yeah. Don't censor me. Don't censor me.
So let's talk about some of the stuff that was not so hot. We're going to try to tiptoe around the plot holes because, as we said, they are plot shit abysses, and it's going to be hard. But we'll do our best. There are little things that, you know, and I understand why it happens because you're trying to like. So the thing, one thing I want to point out that frustrated me was like the army gang that Joshua signs up to go assault the base to find the weapon, right? And they're all just such cut and dried, like evil.
Yeah.
Stereotypic soldiers, but in a way that's just like it's like, oh, this guy's the racist one, and this guy's also the racist one, and this guy's probably also the racist one.
One of them was almost literally a puppy kicker. Like he picks up the dog.
yeah.
Like, I'm like,
put a
really?
gun to his head.
Yeah,
he put a gun to a puppy's head.
Yeah.
So it's just like I don't know why I have to hate these soldiers. Like they mean nothing to me. And even making them all evil did nothing for the story.
It's a detriment to the story.
Kind of.
It makes it seem way less gray.
It's not even consistent
simpler.
because like they're pricks to everybody else and everything else, including Taylor. But then with each other, they try to be nice. Like when they're like, "Oh, come on, run! You can make it!" Right with the girl that wasn't like. The woman that was left behind, the one with the stealth missiles. We're gonna talk about the police later, but they're like, oh no, we're gonna like, so like they only like each other, and then everything else is just fuck it. We're just gonna shoot and kill everything.
Sounds like a modern military soldier. God bless America.
That's true.
America power.
America power. I agree. They are very two-dimensional characters, if you can call them characters. And the thing is, you didn't have to make them that way because they actually, if you step back and looked at the story, like in the story, AI nuked America and now they're responding. So they're like when I told my wife, Ashley, the premise, she's like, I was like, so they nuked them and now America wants to get rid of all of the AI because it's a risk to all humanity. And she's like, makes sense.
Yep.
Like, that's a good
story tracks.
Reason. Yeah, story tracks. And then it's like in the movie though, it's like, yeah.
It's like they were looking for an excuse to go gung ho and everything. Yeah.
But gung ho on women, children.
Yeah. Oh yeah. No. If you like AI, you're fair game. That doesn't matter what you are.
I think the word you're looking for is they're gung ho on Vietnam. Oh, did I say that?
Oh shit!
Sorry,
no, it's New Asia. New
Vietnam. My bad.
Where did you get that, Matt? Where did you get that analogy?
It's Vietnu.
Vietnu. Okay, my bad.
Yeah.
Yeah. So like,
I hadn't even drawn that parallel. You're absolutely right. Yeah, I hadn't even thought of that.
You didn't draw the parallel to Vietnam in this film?
You know what happened? I was watching. I was like, why does this feel so familiar?
You might as well have had them flying into the chopper with "It ain't me, it ain't no
Yeah.
I love the smell of future napalm in the morning.
And you know what the worst part is?
Future napalm.
They still used like 70s music when Taylor steals that truck. They're playing Deep Purple.
Yeah,
it was like might as well have just played CCR. It would have been at least more poignant, right?
Don't want to be too on the nose.
No. Yeah. Oh no. God forbid.
Couldn't have that. So like that was just like the first spot. Like honestly, the whole opening of the movie, I was like, it was very disjointed for me for like the first 15 minutes to maybe 25 minutes.
Yeah.
When it's like, okay, we're here where he's embedded with like the AI team that is like near Namada. And then the Americans show up and fuck everything up, and then his wife dies, and then we're
what the fuck?
Like, it's like all this emotional baggage that you need to clear to tell the whole story that like just feels weird. You know
what? Yeah, but like in the beginning of the movie, I was like, oh, okay, we're in for a fucking dark ride here, like with what you said, and then the military basically blackmailing Taylor to go back. Like basically, Allison Janney's character just said, hey, if you come with us, maybe we won't kill your wife again. Right? Like that's basically what she says to him. And I was like,
no
holy
promises.
Shit. And we were talking about this as I was watching the movie, Matt. I was, and you're like, just wait, because it's gonna take a turn. I'm like, okay. and it did not take a good turn. But yeah, like I in the first like 15 minutes or so, I was like, okay, this is a little weird, but at least it looks like it's a very like not cerebral, but like a very sort of deep story. But no, it's not. No, it's not.
It's a pretty blatant allegory for
Yeah.
war and,
Yeah.
and oppression of a the AI is clearly like the prejudiced people or race.
Yeah, no, and
America
also
is
like
the colonizers.
exactly like just painting the U.S. as like that
Evil?
little
Sorry,
well,
war criminals is the word you're looking for.
The word you're
Yeah,
looking for is
yeah.
monstrous
no
war criminals.
Yeah.
because it was it's just like they were waiting for that one excuse to be the warmongering bastards that they are. And
Yes.
they like in the movie sort of like dwells on it for the entirety of like the last like three quarters of the movie is just us seeing, and we're gonna talk about it later. But
Sure.
it's just us seeing like, yeah, America, we are evil. Like it's just that.
But like,
It was
okay,
also scene after scene of him going to somewhere, talking, and then blowing up that area. Then
Yeah.
him leaving for another area,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
them talking, blowing up, killing everyone there. I think that happened 3 times in a row.
and we're gonna get into this. So I'm not. Only thing I want to ask is, what was with the font, the U.S. Army font on the tank?
Yeah.
It was such a happy, light,
Yeah.
flowery
Yeah,
font
might
on these
as well-
gigantic killing machines.
Might as well have been Comic Sans.
Yeah, basically, right?
Yeah.
It was papyrus.
It just didn't match anything. Just like,
Yeah.
who put that font on there? Like, why?
One guy was just like, I'm gonna take my shot. And just change
It's-
up.
This
the
is
design.
my moment to shine.
This is,
Yeah.
I'm the font guy, and I'm taking a risk.
Yeah.
I'm not playing it safe.
We're gonna make it baby blue.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
It's gonna be. It's
Although
gonna.
those tanks look sick. I thought they looked really cool.
The whole thing. I think out of everything that they showed in terms of like military stuff, the tanks are even cooler than Nomad. I found.
Yeah.
Like with
I thought-
the targeting thing on the ground and like following people running around.
Yeah, that was sick.
was
I thought that
super
looked
cool,
really
yeah.
cool.
I just assumed it was the tanks from StarCraft. It
100%.
I was looking at those
Identify
things.
target.
Yeah, I was just waiting for it to like
I don't know what you guys are talking
clamp
about.
down and spin around and just have a giant turret to like destroy cities.
They should have done that because that would have been cool.
Yeah.
This
felt-
is a game. They never played StarCraft.
I never played StarCraft.
God
I know
damn.
what it is though.
Yeah.
I was born in a later year.
Wow, fuck you.
Wow.
But just kidding. No, but all the tech really reminded me. All the military tech really reminded me of James Cameron military, which I always think he does awesome. You know, the military in Aliens and the military in Avatar,
Aliens. Yeah. It's pretty.
which are
you're
basically the
right.
exact same.
It has that really like
Futuristic, but still like
yeah,
military.
it's very like form follows function. Like
Yeah.
it's not no nonsense. There's no
Yeah.
frills. Yeah.
It's essentially the opposite of like when they show us like the future cars, where like the cars just have like the engine cut out for no reason on the wheels. That's just like, oh, you're just trying to show us that they're future cars, but you have no idea how to do it.
It's the to me the
Those are
the
future
most
wheels
egregious-
to you, sir.
Sorry.
The most egregious example of that is when they make screens transparent.
Yes.
And then I don't know if you've ever seen like they did some like CG tests of how it would actually work, and it's impossible to see anything because of the light coming through.
Yeah, it's it's fucking
It would be
modern tech.
useless.
Yeah.
It would be useless.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Nah, we'll
Classic.
get there.
That's fine.
Don't give up.
Tony
Transparent
Stark
phone
will
people.
solve it for us. It'll be fine.
Yeah.
So okay, so like that, one of the other things I wanted to talk to you guys about, because it, I don't know if it annoyed me or it just puzzled me, but I was just really curious what Joshua, his plan was. Like I know,
Point.
I
Yeah.
know he wanted to get back to his wife because she thought she was alive.
wife. I need to get to Maya. Where's Maya?
I guess I know what his plan was. He had to get to Maya. My bad.
Maya.
I don't.
Where's
I-
Maya?
I know what you mean. Is like, okay, let's say you got to Maya and she wasn't a vegetable, which is spoiler alert.
Spoilers. Yeah.
I was like, what was your plan? What?
I need to get to Maya. Where's
Yeah.
Maya?
And,
You know where
and-
Maya is.
And like you said, Spencer, like anywhere he went, things got fucked. Like he did, and he
totally fucked.
did not care.
He didn't. No, he did. He
Like he
could
found
not.
his friend. His friend had a girlfriend. they both got fucked. And even when the guy got shot in the back by like it's like he's
Then what
just
is
like
he-
a one-man wrecking crew.
The first thing he says to him, the guy, his friend whose girlfriend got killed, and then he got killed, was, "I'm sorry."
Yeah.
That's what he says to the main character.
Yeah.
He's like he
Yeah.
just got him killed. He's like, "I'm sorry. I should have told you that your wife was what's her name? Miyama?
Nirmata.
I should have
yeah.
told you. I
Sorry, Nirmata.
apologize.
Yeah.
You have not done anything worse to me ever."
No, imagine that. Yeah.
I thought he was gonna be like, "Fuck you."
Yeah.
You
Hope
know?
your wife dies
Yeah.
again.
That's yeah. I hope she's a vegetable, and then you have to kill her.
Oh man, can you imagine? Like he's dying and going, I just hope for your sake that your wife isn't in a coma and you're the only one who can kill her. Bye.
And you have to bye, peace. Mic drop.
Yeah, and like I don't know, it's he didn't seem like a good soldier ever. Like even in the beginning where you're talking about it, like
He did some
Matt-
good killing.
No, but like so he is undercover, right? And then he sees the raid, and then he tells his wife, "Oh, go pack," right? And she goes upstairs in their
Oh
tiny
God,
room,
yeah.
and he
And then
goes
he
like,
yells.
"Stop the raid! Stop the raid!" And she comes down and
He literally says, "I'm an undercover agent.
I'm undercover here. Stop the raid!" And she's
We
like,
know who you are. We
Yeah,
called
and-
you."
and he's just yelling. Yeah, and he's yelling on the walkie-talkie, and she comes down and he keeps on talking. It's like, bro, I can you even undercover? Like, what the fuck?
I mean,
So-
he has the biggest bro energy of all time because he's like, I can fix this. It's fine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
When
That's
he-
his whole thing, right?
Yeah, it
When he
is.
lacks in skill, he makes up for incompetence.
Enthusiasm. Yeah.
Yeah.
Enthusiastic incompetence. Yeah.
Because he had a plan, Matt. His plan was to ask people where his wife were
I gotta get to
Yeah.
Maya.
until I gotta get to Maya. And then when he gets caught by the people chasing him, he jumps off the boat and then grabs onto the bottom of the boat because surely they won't see him.
Oh, but well, you can tell in this movie that AI doesn't have any object permanence because the moment he's out of their face, like Ken Watanabe shoots him like 3 or 4 times as he jumps on the ground on the water, and he goes, "Oh well," and then they go back and they're like having a party in their village and they're drinking I don't know motor oil. I don't know what robots drink, and then and then
Wow.
like they forgot. It's like no, there's this guy who knows where we are.
Mhm.
And he wants to get to our fucking God and Savior.
Correct.
But he escaped us, so
Right.
everything's gonna be fine.
I guess he's gone.
Maybe robots can't swim because they're metal, and they're just like, but he's not gonna find it. He was in water. It's done.
Oh, he's dead. He's dead.
It's over.
Yeah. He's gonna rust there.
Yeah, he's in water. Like, okay, and then all the other robots are like, yeah,
Yeah,
tough way to
that
go.
tracks. My
then
cousin
in the
died
mid-
that way.
And then
Yeah.
in the middle of the war that they're in, as the resistance on their war, everybody's sleeping at the same time. Or recharging, whatever the fuck you want to call it.
A great great grandfather was a phone that died of water damage.
As a
Did you try
toaster.
putting him in rice? Did they put him in rice? I hear that
They
works.
tried. They tried.
Oh
rice,
shit!
Rice can only do so
no.
much.
Fuck.
Oh, no.
This is really dead. The one other section I
Why we
want to
moved
talk
to
about. Wow.
That's not. They have rights there.
Right, sure. Now, the one other thing I want to talk about is, so I don't understand the final act of the movie.
Oh, welcome to
boy.
to the club.
So
I did say I like this movie. The final act is where I was like, "Well, that's a big swing and a big miss
Yeah.
on that on the final pitch."
yeah, so like
It was-
basically, he finds his wife and he has to kill her, and
I had such a yikes moment. I was like,
oh my god,
oh my god. And it's like
Awkward.
if the movie wasn't so disjointed, I guess it would have been a much more emotional scene with him and Alfie
right?
because the acting is good. Even the kid, usually
kid's great.
You know,
Yeah.
we in this show we have a history of like
It's just you who has a problem.
no,
No,
it's
no,
Chris actually. It's Chris.
I'll take
Okay.
It's Chris.
hands
most
up
of the
hands
time.
up for ownership.
Yeah.
I've attacked a few children.
Yeah, no, I actually like the usually, but sometimes it's bad. And she was great, and his acting was great too. The guy who plays Taylor, but I was like,
The
this
guy who
movie-
plays Taylor.
Denzel Washington's son.
Yeah.
is it? I didn't
Yeah.
know. Okay,
Wow.
that explains why he's a good actor. I guess it's in the
Jesus.
genes. But I like that scene. I know it was supposed to be a really emotional moment.
But it
And
also was, it was shot
wasn't?
weird though. He just kind of ran off and took her brain with him on a USB drive. There wasn't like
Yeah.
a big emotional unplugging or
he just
anything.
goes like click.
He turns
And
a little
then-
switch,
Yeah,
and then his
and
boss
then he
shows
cries,
up.
hugging Alfie.
Yeah.
and
And his
then
boss
he-
shows up, and makes it a whole thing.
You'd think
Well,
they'd
he
have
put-
a
he
moment of him like
plugs- Yeah,
talking to her, being like,
yeah.
I hope you can forgive me. I'll take care of Alfie. You know,
Yeah.
That's what you would have wanted.
Nothing.
And
He's
turn
just
it
like
off.
he just
He's like,
immediately turns her off. He's
Like
like, well,
shutting down-
at
like
least you won't be
shutting down
mad
your
at me
computer.
for the whole, anti-robot thing.
Like, tell me if I'm wrong. Reply to me if you think I'm wrong.
Yeah,
I
wake
wasn't.
up.
Okay.
Wake up if you thought I was in the wrong in this situation. No,
The only-
okay.
the
Before
only
you,
way to
before you
win
get a
an
chance,
argument,
before you
yeah.
get a chance, hold on. Let me unplug you.
Yeah, I don't know, but yeah. Well, you were saying, Matt. You got that scene.
Yeah,
And
and
he
so like
plugs her
we
off.
get there, we have it. All the baddies we know about are essentially killed. Alison Janney dies
in the
because she's
stupidest way possible.
she deserves to die, and I hope she burns in hell.
Yes.
Not
And-
the actress.
No. I love her as
She
the
was-
actress, but her
She
character.
was great. She was great.
was-
in
she was
this.
good.
Yeah.
So she dies, and then basically he's like, all right, well, Joshua or John David Washington's like, all right, we gotta go shut these fuckers down, right? Because Haroon is like, end the war as he dies. No, he runs away because he doesn't die. Who the fuck knows, and who cares? And so he goes out and he gets picked up by the U.S. Army. They're like, oh yeah, come with us, and they separate him and the kid. And then
Yeah.
the next thing we know, it's like the kid's being held in prison in Washington, and
Oh, don't get me started on that. We don't have time now. We're gonna talk about
No,
this
we
in the plot
don't.
holes.
And this is this is probably the best point to segue, because from
All right.
here on out it is
Yes.
unhinged, and it leads us into our first abyss shithole. America.
America. Fuck yeah.
Before you add us, we're talking about in this film.
In this film.
The,
Are-
the abyss
are we?
shithole that is in this
I mean,
film.
if we want to be a little bit, it's more the U.S. Army is mostly what we're getting at.
Yeah,
all we
we
see.
don't get to see anything other than the U.S.
Right.
Army. Right.
The U.S.
Yeah.
Army basically runs. It's a military dictatorship in America, as far as I know.
So
in this film.
In this film.
Yeah. Okay. We need to clarify this at every point. Yeah.
So let's talk about America as a plot hole, because the movie is really keyed on the emotional, point of this movie is keyed on the idea that America had AI. AI was there to protect them. The AI determined that Los Angeles was a threat, which I guess the
Not
AI
wrong.
is Republican. I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They're against the Hollywood
Yeah.
yeah.
the Hollywood industry.
Nukes LA, and then you see like a general in front of Congress being all like, we gotta get rid of AI everywhere, and then we skip ahead to the rest of the movie basically.
The most U.S. thing in the history of
you-
everything.
yeah.
Yeah. Like,
Yeah.
one time AI fucked up, death to all AI for
Yeah.
now and ever. Like,
And AI bombed LA. Gotta get the Jews in Hollywood out of there. AI. That was the AI's goal from the beginning. But that's like the onset. And then like I said before, when you hear that concept, you think, okay, like they have a good point. They were nuked by AI. They definitely would want to.
yeah, like
react.
it's an overreaction, but you understand where they're coming from.
Well, I don't know.
Until
But that we'll get to
Yeah.
this.
yeah,
So
yeah.
at this point, we think America is a very competent military organization, and slowly but surely, we find out this is not the case.
Oh
Right.
yes.
Starting with their first military operation.
So we jump ahead 10 years from the point of them saying we got to stop the AI. And we
Right.
jump ahead to our star, Joshua, at home with Gemma Chan. She's pregnant. They're having a nice little touching moment of, their baby's coming, and they're joking around and blah, blah, blah. And then America attacks. The U.S. Army.
America, fuck yeah!
And so America attacks And we don't know exactly why. We find out later that they were there because they had intelligence that his wife was near Mata. So fine, whatever. That's tracks. And then we learn about the Nomad at this point. And so the Nomad, let's just segue to the Nomad right now because there's a lot to talk about there.
So much on the
Nomad is a
Space station.
near orbit space station. I'm never quite sure because it's in the sky in a way that's too big and too clear for it to be in orbit.
But also, it couldn't really fly with its shape unless it was somewhat
in space because it
Yes.
would
But at the same time, it does look like it has like a vaguely ship-like shape. Right?
It's hard to
not
tell.
like yeah.
Yeah, I guess it does. I'm picturing like an M, but I guess it was kind of like had wings.
Yeah, that's how I saw it at the first time, and it has that admittedly cool-looking blue tracking
That thing was dope.
Yeah,
It's
but
it's
Not
the
very logical to have a
Yeah,
big laser
well,
that shows where
that's-
you're aiming
yeah,
listen.
because
You
they
leave
could do that now without the laser.
we can, but the thing is that when we want a copy from Tron is the master controller thing, we just shrunk its
Yeah.
legs, and so we have to change it by putting the radar beam that hits the ground to point out where they're going to attack.
it looks
it's like
cool
a-
as hell.
Maybe it's like a psychological fear thing, right? Like there's
Listen, I can let things slide based if they're cool enough. That's the
I
rule of
agree.
movie making.
yeah, that's right. Cool is good. So it was cool. So we'll let it slide. But I do want to talk about the Nomad because it just hovers around and shoots missiles at things.
Yeah. Before we get to the shooting missiles, I want to get to the hovering part because
Sure.
where exactly was it hovering? Because
Space.
Asia is a big place.
New Asia. I thought they covered that.
Yeah, but like
Yeah, dummy.
it has to cover quite a lot of ground in quite a fast amount of time.
Not if you're in space.
Yeah,
That's
it's
not
traveling
how-
at the speed of space.
Yeah.
So that
It's not
answers your
moving.
question.
The Earth is moving. It's the Earth's fault for moving too fast.
I
Yeah.
see. So it uses the Earth's rotation to counteract.
Yeah.
It's
and then
always
move
going
faster.
against the rotation.
You
of the
know
Earth,
how-
therefore doubling its speed.
Yeah, you know how
Right.
when you go to the airport and you get on those like movators and you walk super fast?
Right.
That's what it's
it's
doing.
doing only
That's
in
the speed of
space.
space.
In space,
That's the
yeah.
speed of space right
Yeah,
there.
that's
Okay,
the
my
speed of
bad.
space. Yeah,
My bad. Now it's all explained.
yeah, exactly.
You
You're
put
welcome.
enough. You put one of
That's-
those fast walking escalator things on top of another fast walking escalator and repeat till it reaches space.
And to reach
That's
space,
the
it would be
speed of
really
space.
fast. Yeah.
It would be.
So
it
that
would be
is
incredibly
that how
fast.
is that how that lunar shuttle at the end gets from LA to
Yeah,
like
speed
above-
of space.
yeah.
I don't know what you don't understand.
Yeah,
like the
what are
speed of
you
space.
confused about? Once you master the speed of space, why would you not use it for every
Yeah.
flying?
That's
like-
true. That's true.
You're welcome. That's not important here. We're talking about America's plot hole. So
Yeah. That's one of the few things that made sense here.
So, as we find out from the Nomad, I guess it's a space station, which
Sure.
really doesn't make any sense.
No moon.
That's right. There's no moon. It doesn't make any sense because like there's people like gardening up there and like
Yeah,
running
they
weird
have,
science
like,
projects.
Research
They have, like,
facilities
They
and
have
whatever.
hydroponics.
Yeah,
Hydroponics. Yeah.
but it rains death and destruction.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
Like
so okay,
unending death and
Unending.
destruction. Yeah.
so let's fine. We're getting a little sidetracked on the Nomad. So the Nomad was built, but apparently, and this is where the first plot hole of me comes in. The Nomad is the only thing that could win the war for the U.S. That's what we're
Right.
told,
That
right?
is-
Not
Yeah.
only is it the only thing that can win the war, but there's also no way for New Asia to counter it at all.
Zero.
yeah. Or
Zero
destroy
way.
it.
Yeah.
Correct.
So if
Yeah,
it gets
the only way-
destroyed,
Well,
And they
we find
use-
out that Alfie's been built to destroy it.
to destroy it, yeah.
Yeah, their idea. The only way to destroy the Nomad is to create a sentient human hybrid robot that can control technology and then get that thing up into the. You couldn't just get a bomb into it. You got to
and by
get
their
a
own
sentient child.
and by their own admission, created this human AI hybrid whatever that's gonna grow and have feelings and everything, and by their own admission, will die in the process of destroying them.
Listen, that's not America's fault. That is
Yeah,
New
yeah,
Asia's
we're not-
fault.
yeah.
We're picking
Sure.
on
You
America
know what? You're
right
right.
now.
You're right.
All
You're
right,
right. You're
fair
right.
enough.
Matt.
So
Get us
so
derail us.
it is thank you. It is weird that America has built this piece of technology that can't be destroyed, but they put all their eggs into the basket here. But
Yeah,
what technology do we see New Asia have? Right?
They got a
I mean,
lot of
that-
AI robots.
like when it shows, because it shows a couple of their cities, right?
Yeah.
It looks pretty advanced, like it's very cyberpunky, like you were
Sure.
saying. Like, so why can't they counter? That
We
was
don't
my
care.
question.
We don't.
America-
That's not a play here. They can't. They suck. But my question is, because we're talking about America's plot holes here, right?
Right.
And so they're saying they can't win this war without Nomad.
Right.
But arguably, the fucking behemoth tanks they run on with would do just a fine job with
even
wiping
better
out
a job because
this non-technology having New Asia.
The tanks, even honestly, against the New Asia of the futuristic New Asia would probably lose to modern day America right
Yeah.
now. Because
Yeah.
if you could just fly in, they could bomb them right now without having an omniscient death base that flies above. You can shoot a rocket from a submarine and
The
bomb a
Ukraine
target.
is waging a very effective war against Russia, just using drones with bombs on them.
Yep.
Yeah. So and America's got
And you
plenty
have
of those.
like we
Yep.
have so many satellites right now that can at least direct ordnance, even if they can't
Right.
shoot ordnance.
Yeah.
So like the idea of bombarding something from orbit isn't futuristic. It's a right now technology.
It's very, very possible. Now,
Yeah.
if they said that this machine could detect things with that laser thing
Sure.
that made it so they could win the war, that would make sense. But they did
Right.
not. All this thing does is aim and shoot.
Yeah.
Yeah. Bombs.
And the idea that without that one device that the war would be over. It's like did they get rid of all the other bombs and all the other tanks?
And like it's like, oh, if they destroy Nomad, we took 10 years to build it, and then if they destroy it, we can't win the war. But by the AI's own admission, they were like, you know what will happen when we win the war? Nothing. So they can just take another 10 years and build it again.
Sounds like it.
Right? So like, yeah, that doesn't make any sense. Like the urgency of it.
Yeah, it seemed like you said, a contrived
Yeah.
like plot hole to make the story of the movie seem more impactful. It's like this will end the war, but when you step back, you're like, "This, I don't think this would end the war."
Yeah.
They got
What-
tanks on the ground.
But like you didn't. I don't know if it's they didn't create a thing that actually for example, Star Wars, right? Star Wars, they create the Death Star, like the original Death Star. I'm not talking about anything else because I don't give a fuck. But the original
Star
Death
Killer
Star,
Base.
fuck you,
Oh, fuck you. Yeah.
and not the Star Dicks on the Star Destroyers, and none of that.
I thought you're not going to talk about it.
I'm not going to talk about it.
Okay.
The original Death Star is a weapon that when you see it, I'm like that could turn the tide of a war. That fucking destroys planets. That's huge. That's a big deal. But you're right. This thing just drops bombs. And you can drop bombs in 1,000 different ways. So you've created this thing that, by admission, looks fucking cool, but doesn't actually bring anything unique to any said war. And then you show up with this other thing later on that looks fucking cool, but could have easily won this war more efficiently than taking 10 years to build Nomad.
Yeah. And like
Talking about the tanks.
something, yeah, of course.
Yeah,
and something I just thought
monstrous
about.
tanks.
Yeah.
How did they get those tanks there?
New Asia has the literally negative technology.
Yeah,
They don't have
except
radar?
Except for AI.
They got a
And
bunch.
whatever they,
They put
use
all
to
their
build-
eggs in that basket, in that AI
Yeah,
basket.
it's
We're just
robots,
gonna keep building them.
It's robots, strippers, and billboards. That's
That's
all they
it.
use
That's all I got.
technology for. Yeah.
Sometimes together, billboards with robot strippers.
Yeah.
They put all their money into that.
But my point is, if they can somehow get those tanks from the U.S. to New Asia, why
Sure.
did they need Nomad at all?
Maybe
We're asking a lot
Nomad
of
drops them
questions.
off.
We need some
But
answers.
Nomad's in space. That's interesting. I'm not done with the plot holes. I want to talk about
And
America's.
the tanks can listen. We already solved that answer. Boats
Oh.
now can hover,
That's true.
so the tanks just hovered across.
No, tanks can't hover. Only boats can. But you can put the tank on the hover
On the
boats,
boat.
and then-
Oh, there
Yeah.
there you go. don't make the tank hover. Just put
No,
it
no,
on
that's
a
impossible.
hover
No,
boat.
the tank needs thread so it can
So
fuck
crush.
up.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Crush
crush shanty
shanty
towns.
towns.
Yeah.
Yes,
Yeah,
yeah,
exactly.
we covered that.
I want to talk about the soldiers, the ground forces of America's army,
Oh, you
and what their
mean-
plans are.
You mean the ones that are very, very competent at the jobs?
This is a black ops operation. One would presume that black ops means you use your very best soldiers.
Elite, top of
Elite.
the chain.
So they have the
First,
8.
first
So,
problem.
go ahead. Yeah.
First
okay.
problem with that operation, they bring back in a soldier who's been 5 years dealing with PTSD and memory problems and has not been in active duty. They just bring him in.
You're talking about the just to clarify for the audience. You're talking about the operation in which they were going in to steal the weapon, which was turned out to be Alfie, the robot child.
Correct.
Yeah.
Yeah. So their first, they didn't know where it was. So instead of getting intel from the man with the PTSD on where this base is, and
They send him.
Because he knew the layout. Apparently, he knew the layout of the base inside.
But he had to be there.
Yeah, he had to be there. No, he
draw it
couldn't.
out or anything.
No, or tell them. No.
Or tell them. No.
So
he had to go, even though he was clearly not fit for duty.
Clearly not fit for mentally, physically, he's missing arms and legs. He was
right.
Yeah.
So he's not great. We've already covered the many racists on the team. The one guy who loved, he wanted to just like mutilate people or was excited about it. And I really want to talk about.
Wanted to shoot dogs in the face.
Yeah, that guy. And then I also want to talk about the one woman on the crew, besides Alice and Jenny, but like just the one. She gets like a golf cart or like a bobcat.
Yeah.
And she drives it off. What is the purpose of that thing? Because it launches a bunch of stealth rockets to kill.
What is that?
But then, like, it shoots one salvo and it's done. And, like, dude, they've been fighting this war for how many years? And they don't know that if they blow up a bunch of cops, more AI cops are going to show up?
Apparently.
That was a shocker.
Yeah.
They do training and they go through these situations, but the simulations always end after you blow up the first row of soldiers.
Yeah, they don't know about waves.
They don't. Yeah, they haven't played video games from the early 2000s.
The training is like, if you get to destroy this first wave of police robots, you're in the clear.
Yeah. Okay.
They'll be too scared.
Okay, my bad.
So these soldiers, they go in. And they're trying to infiltrate.
Yes.
And their plan was just to go in shooting. Like he told them what door to go through and just go. They have no idea what kind of defense this place has.
They walk in and they don't care who it is. They just shoot scientists, whatever. They just shoot everybody.
Innocents. They make a point to shoot. America, by the way, we talked about this earlier, war criminals. They make a point to kill all people, women, children, robots.
Yeah,
sure.
Doesn't matter. Everything is just target practice.
Yep. Robots have faces now, so everyone with a face is a target.
Yeah. even if that face is a toaster, like the robots that don't get faces.
Especially those faces.
Yeah.
So when they infiltrate the space, they try and kill everybody. Yeah, they do kill everybody.
But they only bring 8 people.
Yeah,
and then they have 6.
And no, it's like I think it was like 10 in total, and then one.
But they keep leaving people behind, right?
Yeah, and then the people that went in have to go back to help the ones that were left behind.
So then
they leave the only guy who isn't in their actual team,
right,
to finish the infiltration.
Yeah,
the most important mission of mankind's history,
and the guy they outwardly hate.
Yeah, and don't trust,
believe are capable.
Yeah. And who had to blackmail to come along.
Yeah. Not only that, my favorite part of the movie is it's a big mystery door.
Yeah.
With something inside and you don't know what it is. And the guy's opening it. And he's like putting in the codes. And he's like,
it's a numeric password.
It's a numeric password. And he's hacking it. And he's like, and then they call him. He's like, I got to go. You stay here. Don't go in the door that's going to open in 5 seconds.
No. He says, I'll be back before this thing opens. Don't go in there without me. And he goes, copy. Immediately he goes in.
But also, it opens immediately when that guy leaves too, right?
That was one of the things, and this is not America. This is on the New Asia side, but the face wearing guy, he was like, "Oh, I'm gonna get a face because everything here is facial recognition."
Yeah.
And then the really important door, the one that's hiding their ultimate weapon, is behind a 9-digit numeric password.
Yeah.
What the fuck?
That him saying that to him, don't go in there when it opens, reminds me of that in The Simpsons when the Chief Wiggum is like, Ralphie, what is your fascination with my forbidden closet of mystery? It's exactly the same. He's like, don't go in there. Something incredible is inside.
Yeah. Yeah. So, I mean, these are all. This is the thing, right? America's plan is they want to eradicate AI from the planet, right?
Yeah.
But they also have a history of just bad
Decisions.
hiring and distribution of hire, because even in the beginning they send an undercover agent, they send a black American soldier who doesn't speak the language
Right.
to go undercover in a foreign nation.
Yes.
Like, what was the plan? How did that
not
work?
not only does the man not speak the language, he never learned the language, even though he
Never
was
tries
there.
to learn?
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
Marries the girl from there, doesn't try to understand.
Doesn't know
it.
what Dian Dang it means,
Yeah,
even though he's
yeah.
been there how long? Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, that's a really great point. Like, this is
And then
when,
they don't tell the guy who's infiltrated undercover there that they're gonna raid it.
Yes, yes,
I mean-
that's also a big mistake.
I think that's smart.
But that makes sense because they wanted his wife, and they were worried that if they told him,
Yeah.
he would defend her.
Right.
Well,
Which
he
he
did.
does. But that was what they're afraid of. So that,
Right.
Tactically, I understand that.
That's like the only smart move they made.
Yeah, but they made the mistake of not
Honestly,
like.
they needed to have pulled him off when he went native, as they put it, because they're
Wow.
all dicks. That's how his
Yeah.
friend talks about it.
Yeah.
Remember when he shows him the butt? Don't go native on me, Josh.
Then he ends up falling in love
Immediately
with an AI
proceeds to go
robot.
native.
Yeah. Going
But-
native to me is like falling in love with a native person, not an AI. He went like one level beyond.
Well, he
Yeah.
fell in love with a woman.
Yeah, she wasn't a robot.
Yeah,
She was.
No, she wasn't. What?
No, you're talking about the second guy. The guy who said
Nathan
it.
or whatever his
Oh,
buddy
the
was.
second guy is worse. Yeah,
Yeah.
Drew. His name is
True
Drew.
and full
Yeah.
sex bot.
Anyways, it's like, so these are all like, this is the thing, right? Like they set this up. They send out the worst possible guy to be an undercover agent, and he doesn't know the language. He fails. They like, do they know they were success? I guess they know they were successful, but then they find out there's a weapon, and so they think they're not successful, and so that's why they have to send him back. And that whole plan we've discussed. And then the like. I just like the plan at the end.
Yeah.
The
whole thing when they're infiltrating Nomad is so ridiculous.
the Hydra plan of just finding all, like, we found all the AI hideouts and now we're gonna blow them all up at the same time.
Yeah.
Yes.
That I'm just like, why?
Insane.
Like, why would you? What are you waiting for? Like, couldn't you have done that already? Why did we wait for to just do it? You know where they
Yeah.
are. Just
Because when they go into the village, like in the temple where Maya is, and Alison Janney says her favorite line in this whole movie, which is "heck everything." Apparently, that's a command now. And he goes, hack everything and find all the bases, right? Why?
Right.
When they found all the bases, why don't they immediately launch the attack? Why did they wait until Joshua was back and Alfie
Got to
was
charge.
back? It doesn't look like it does.
And it's got to use the speed of space to get where it needs to be.
But
The
it's-
speed of
but-
space.
first of all, there's a couple things with that. One, they're not batteries; they are missiles, physical missiles you see that just fall out of the sky and don't blow up. And two, they don't have to get anywhere because they're in space.
Yeah. And they can apparently just tilt and cover the entirety of Asia with just a little bit of a tilt of Nomad. So they
Yeah.
could have immediately shot everything.
They needed to make a point by killing the child.
By
first.
showing that they're dumb. Well, let's not get about the
I
plan,
know,
the
yeah, I
plan
know.
with
You-
Alfie.
I knew you were gonna go there.
Just
I knew you were
fucking
gonna go there.
don't go there.
No,
Like,
I mean,
There's
I think
so many
I think,
more dumb America things. Do you,
Yeah.
want me
Well-
to cover, do you want me to slam through a few?
Yeah, slam through a few more because we do need to spoiler alert,
Yeah,
the next plot hole is Alfie. So let's just
Yeah.
knock out a few more
I'm
American
gonna knock
things.
a bang it. First of all, the
Yeah.
biggest one. You find out that America nuked itself,
Mhm.
which is just
Yeah.
hilarious. It was a coding error.
Yeah.
So the only sympathy they had for being these monstrous people
yeah.
turned out to be
It's
their own fault.
gone. Yeah.
So that in itself really makes them seem even more incompetent and evil. Using AI suicide bombers when they're against
Oh,
AI.
we forgot about that.
Yeah, they send.
We don't
they-
use
they,
AI except for suicide bombing.
I
and
love,
when I and
I
then
love
when
that.
when I watch that scene, I'm like, well, maybe they're just like simple like
Yeah.
robots,
Yeah.
they're not
No.
like AI. But then they make
been
a
an
point
honor,
that
sir.
the robot
Yeah,
says, "It's
yeah.
been a pleasure, ma'am." And he read them like, "Why did
I
they?
know. One of
why
them
did they
almost
do
goes
that?"
like, "Oh, but I don't want to go."
Might as well have it be
Just
like,
go. All right, fine.
you might as well have it be like, "Tell my wife and kids I love them."
like,
Well, I mean, if they wanted to really be like, okay, Americans are the worst, could have just had the robot speak Arabic at that point.
Oh my god.
no, New Asian. Come on, bro. Different
Well,
timeline.
No, they had Arabics there too.
I mean, that's fair. Spencer, that one's one of my favorites because America. I understand they're trying to show the hypocrisy of America, but it's just like you've got it. We know America is dumb and evil. Like you don't have to do this. It's too late in the movie. But it's also just like it actually doesn't make any sense to have an intelligent AI embedded in this robot. It's expensive. All you need to do is be like, hey, you programmed a distance and like a time or whatever.
Yeah.
Why does it need to be intelligent at all?
Like, it doesn't. Like that thing is just a Roomba with a bomb strapped to it.
Why?
Yeah,
Why was I programmed to feel pain?
You know what you did.
Yeah.
No, like seriously, they could have just picked up a Roomba that exists today, put a bomb on top of it, and like they would serve the same purpose.
You know what else would have worked? Just use the fucking guns on the tank you have.
The tanks, yeah. That's true. Why did they have to do it that way? Couldn't they have just like
tanks 10 feet away?
Yeah,
it wasn't like the suicide bomber things where like we're able to run into like a hole or cavern or figure out how to get somewhere.
Or even like dodge stuff, hide into
anything.
Yeah.
No,
it was just like a giant cylinder with legs.
Yeah.
Aye, sir. Love America.
Yeah. It would have been totally fine to just have it be like affirmative and run off. And says like, it was a pleasure, an honor, ma'am.
It's been my honor, ma'am. I die for our country, America.
I give everything I have for you.
Spencer, you got anything else on that list?
I think the one we covered, but the last stupid act in the movie is them killing Alice and Janney, which was another. It was more just a stupid act of the soldiers.
Yeah,
because she gets shot with a bomb, and it's like beeping about to go off, and then the kid
turns it off,
like stopping the bomb, and she notices this because it's pretty obvious.
Yeah,
and then the other soldiers were like, "Stop it! He's got his hands out."
No. They actually say, "Weapon is active. Weapon is active." That's what they say. And she goes, "No." It's such it's like a comedy scene.
It was like a comedy. She's like, "No."
Yeah.
So it's just like a perfect
America's finest.
Yeah, exactly. It was just like an
should have just shown like the next scene should have just been like a American flag in the background, and a bunch of soldiers saluting.
Yeah,
no, it's
greatest country in the world.
Alice and Janney's. It's like it cuts to her grave, and everyone's crying, and you see one of those like bomb robots crying beside her grave. She's the best commander I've ever had.
One other thing I would like to actually mention. I don't know if we did, but I think it's pretty clear to everybody that Josh and Alfie have like a relationship and a connection. That Joshua cares more about. And America is just like trusts everything to do with Joshua and the kid, like that allows the last.
They say
act to
they
happen.
don't, but they do.
Yeah, and like it's everything is like so easy. Like why do your rockets or why do your spaceships that are flying out of LA fly right by the
super secret base,
Mm-hmm.
the
Nomad, which.
And docks
arguably
automatically.
Docks automatically, which arguably should be a lot. Like it doesn't have to be that far away, but it should be. If it's in New Asia, there's a pretty big ocean in between America and Asia.
I actually did
speed of
went
space,
to look.
Speed of space.
It's like 10,000 kilometers away.
What's that in regular flying speed?
Well, speed of space
hours.
speed, 5
15
minutes.
hours.
5 minutes, 6 minutes.
No, clearly in the movie it was less than that.
Okay, well, I
Should
mean,
we-
it's just
I don't know. Before, so I know this might be in the alpha category, but the part when they couldn't kill Alfie because
So I think that's a good transition point between the two.
because that's a stupid thing on both ends.
Yeah, because
So-
it's like why?
okay. So dive into Alfie here. Dive into why America can't kill Alfie because let's just go. We'll go backwards from that point in Alfie.
Yeah, I think that's a good way. So like just to kind of set the scene, they capture Joshua and Alfie, and they take them back to the U.S. And then a day later, whenever that was, the general comes and says, "We can't turn her off. She won't let us."
I actually think it was like a week or something.
Yeah,
Or
so
a
we
week.
can't kill her. She won't let us.
She won't let us. She won't go peacefully. And the non-peaceful way will be unbelievably painful. That's what he says.
Right.
And I'm like, one, why don't they just shoot her like they did with every other AI and
every
it seemed
other-
to work?
They just killed 10,000 people.
Yeah.
And they're like, she's won't go peacefully.
Yeah.
I've never
Yeah.
stopped you before.
And then 2, they give him some gun to kill her with, and
It's
they
an
say,
EMP.
just go. That's I was getting to that because
Yeah.
they just go there, and it's like just go there and convince her that it's gonna be better this way, and then it's just an EMP gun that doesn't apparently even work because she just goes on standby and not turns off.
Yeah, but he did fire it, which was confusing.
He did fire it, yeah, and
But she can control stuff when it's convenient.
well, presumably that's why they couldn't use it on her because she was kept
Right.
turning it off.
Yeah.
But like she didn't seem to be able to turn off guns. So
No.
flashlights, yes, and we'll get to that, but not guns.
And even
Well,
if she could turn off guns, just fucking take a hammer to her head.
No,
well-
turn her off like they did, like he did with Ken Watanabe. He
No,
just
but
went
again,
like,
she won't let that happen somehow. Mystery. But here's the thing. Why do they care about the unbelievably painful way? They haven't shown any regard for any AI at any
Yeah.
point.
well,
Yeah,
and
at all.
even
Or
beyond
children.
that, they
Anybody.
say they don't feel pain. Joshua says it once or twice. They don't feel pain. So why would it be unbelievably painful? Because you could say, okay, so they wouldn't care about it being painful or not, but they could blackmail Josh because he wouldn't want Alfie to suffer. That's why.
Right.
They say, okay, fine, but they don't feel pain. They're
No,
robots.
but I think I don't. If you're talking about how America approaches it, it doesn't matter if it feels pain
As
or
a
not,
character, yeah.
right?
No,
It's-
I know,
it's
but
antithesis of their whole
assuming
arc.
that Joshua would be the only one who could turn her off without. Oh, I guess I see what you mean. Why would they care? Just fucking do it.
They have never cared at this point.
Yeah.
Anyways, but we're talking about Alfie and not why America can't. We just finished America's plot holes.
Yeah, no,
America
it's a
sucks.
good transition. It's a good
transition. But let's talk about
Yeah.
a little bit about Alfie. We learn very early on, and this kind of plays out through the movie. We have given Alfie the MacGuffin of Alfie is a small child. She is learning. She is growing. She will gain more powers over time.
Robo Jesus.
She's Robo Jesus 100%.
Yes,
Yeah.
100%. And so she has been built to save the world from the Matrix.
She is Neo.
Yeah,
She is Neo.
She is the one.
So
I will save you from your sin costs. Math joke.
yeah, thank you. It was great. Someone laughed somewhere. So we meet Alfie early on. Alfie is in that vent, or that's a vault, sorry. And she escapes and kind of runs away. And we learn that she has the power to stop, like to control other robots. It's very Grogu-like introduction to her powers.
Yeah, they say she will eventually be able to control all technology remotely, and no explanation how that works. But okay,
Right. Sure, that's fine. Whatever. Like, it's your movie. If it's cool, great.
I mean,
but-
I can respect that.
Sure. But for whatever reason, that won't happen until long after when they need to murder the Nomad to finish the war. So Alfie's role is primarily to be a robot killer. And I guess Alfie is just hanging out in that base until Alfie's like a teenager or like 18 and has the right to go murder everybody. Like, I'm not really sure.
So many deaths in the meantime, though.
Yeah. Right?
Yeah,
I mean, this
there
is
were-
back.
I
This is
think
back
there
to
were-
America again. But like, if they need to get her onto the fucking ship, why not just get a bomb onto the ship? Oh, sorry, I'm going backwards.
Yeah, you're
I'm
going
still
backwards.
hung up on America.
We're talking about like Alfie, right? So Alfie has the power to do everything. And I think where I want to allow a director and a writer to tell the story they want. And so I don't want to quibble over the idea that the Nirmata, Jebba Chan, creates it's not a hybrid, because I think they say Alfie is a completely a robot.
she's an AI.
Yeah.
But she was built in a
cloned.
way that can grow.
Grow.
Like,
She
Yeah.
She's
used
cloned from an embryo.
she's cloned from an embryo. She used the markings of the embryo to create.
yeah, what I think what
Alfie.
Haruo Ken Watanabe says is that she used a scan of the embryo
Yeah.
of
Yeah.
So I
And-
guess you can assume that it was like built into her technology, the same like the technology of growing like an embryo does.
Sure.
So she has to be somewhat organic to grow.
No.
It doesn't explain it, and it's honestly fine.
Like she fit, but when they say grow, they mean physically too, right?
Yeah,
like
yeah,
she
they
was
do.
once a
They do.
baby.
They hint at it, which is part of the problem with Alfie, because if Alfie's just a robot, I would love to hear more about how they found the way to make her grow. I just thought she would stay the same size, but her intelligence and her maturity would grow. Not anyway. So
But if
that's
they
part of the
made
problem,
her,
right?
But if they made her from the embryo, she did already grow.
But they didn't make her from the embryo. It was just a scan, right?
Right, but they. Oh, I see what you mean.
You need to have
a lot of
Yeah, I
hand
know.
there's a lot of
waving.
It's-
hand waving.
A lot of hand waving.
And
yeah.
so it's like I think the challenge is like one individual thing about Alfie is like, all right, that's fine, right? You're telling a story, you're creating a character, great. And then, but like Alfie's powers basically are the ability to control AI and electronics.
She's an EMP. She's an EMP.
Yeah.
She doesn't really
Yeah, she
control
turns
much,
TVs
right?
on, turns TVs
Yeah.
off.
Yeah,
She
you're
turns
right. She
it-
mainly just turned things on and
Yeah.
off.
Yeah.
The only time she does anything different is when she drives the car, right? When they're escaping from.
Does
the
she control the
police.
wheel though, or does she just turn it on?
She was driving from the back seat there.
Okay, so and did she control that tentacle thing?
Yes.
No, she closed the door on it, right?
He closed the door on it.
Oh, he closed
No,
the door. on it,
but
okay.
but she made it drop him.
Yeah.
But she couldn't
yeah.
But it didn't seem like it seemed like she just kind of turned it off and he got free.
Yeah, I think the idea is to say that the thing she knows how to do now is turn things on and off, and everything else is spotty. Like she doesn't really know how to do it well, I guess.
Yeah.
I'm shocked there was not a scene where she like shut down a bunch of those robots that were chasing
Yeah.
her. Pretty surprising. That seemed like a
Or
pretty.
the tanks or whatever. Yeah.
Well, the tanks technically, in theory, don't have AI, right?
No, but
Yeah,
she
they're
can turn
American.
off anything.
Well,
she turns
it's-
off when the police is investigating that car. She turns off
This
the flashlight.
I think this is the
that
crux.
flashlight is AI, man. It needs to know when to
This
when to
is-
light something.
This is the crux of the Alfie conundrum.
Yeah.
Is that it's fine to create a character, but you need to like create a character that makes sense to the audience, and the application of the powers they've given her
Yeah.
just they're MacGuffins at any point to make the story feel whatever they want it to feel.
The way her powers work can't be whatever the plot needs. It can't just
Right.
be that, because then it's completely like contradictory, right?
Yeah, and that's what it was, right? Like
yeah,
she,
100%. It doesn't like it was whatever the scene needed, right?
like I'm not really sure how she couldn't open the escape pod
Yeah.
to get
The door
Josh
was
in.
broken. I think it was physically broken.
But then if the door is broken, should be easier to open because it's a thing that holds it locked. It's not like the default state is locked.
The lock was broken closed. Okay.
Okay, fine.
Yeah, but like again, it's like we're forcing an ending. Like
Yeah,
it's fine
we're-
to have an ending that ends up a certain way.
No, but that makes sense. Like the door gets like banged in a way that you can't open it.
Sure, but
That
but
can
you, so,
happen.
But the thing is, you've created this being that can control all these situations. Why would that lock ever get banged and closed in the first place?
Well, I mean, she makes mistakes.
No, but
Well,
like
there's
this is the
Everything
thing.
was exploding
But,
around
like,
her. You don't.
but that
If the
isn't-
debris falls and hits
you-
the pod, you can't
can
control
go
that.
back further. She had Nomad turned off, right? Why
Yeah.
did she have to release it before Joshua was back in and safe? She didn't have to do that.
Why does she have
I mean,
to
that's a good
sit
point.
at a specific spot to turn Nomad
That's
off?
also. That's
Yeah,
they
also
explain
that's a
that
good
at all?
question. She had to go into the hologram of the world, I guess.
the hub. That was the brain.
Yeah, but okay, but then
So
like
none of that makes sense.
And they kind of made it. And sorry, I know we're just all asking a lot of questions, but
it's because we don't know.
was
on
asking
top,
questions.
on top of I'm just asking questions. That's it. When she left that hub, it turned back on, so she can't
Yeah.
leave it off. Like she has to be there to keep it off.
That's a good question. She can't
Allegedly.
just turn it just turn it off and leave it off. She has to hold it off because
Yeah.
reasons.
Because that's weird.
It is weird. Yeah,
Yeah.
and
I mean, I don't really have an answer for that.
No, but
That's what I'm
that is that is the maybe plot hole is not fair to apply to Alfie. It's that Alfie is plugs all plot holes of the movie.
in a very unsatisfying way.
It's very unsatisfying. It's not a character you're shown powers and understand. It's just like, yeah, the power is to basically turn off electronics when she wants and for however long she wants.
Her power is to allow the plot to move forward.
Yeah,
Kind
that's
of.
her greatest power.
That's the greatest. I have some plot holes about Alfie that aren't power based.
Okay.
It's more like how people act and her character.
Yep.
Like one thing that was confusing to me is the AI like praise her like she's like God or whatever. Like
Yes.
she's
Like the Messiah.
Robo Jesus.
Yep.
Yeah.
Correct.
When they found her with Joshua, why were they like gonna stun her and steal her? And why wasn't she friendly with them? Like, why was she being kept captive in a cage in the first place?
Well, you mean in the base?
Yep.
Yeah,
I
it's
think that was mostly for her protection, although it's kind of heavy-handed. But
well, he even says they're keeping something, they want to keep us out, and he goes or something in.
Yeah.
It's like, but then also like it's like you think that when she saw the people who were like taking care of her, that she'd be like, hi, like yeah, like, but she was like
and also
dismissive.
If she can control technology, she could just open that door whenever she wanted to leave.
100%.
Yeah.
Or the hatch that they used to escape to outside.
Like she was so connected to Joshua right away, and like being like, I'm with you all. But wasn't she raised by these AIs, and she just
No, I think she was raised by humans. That's the impression I get.
Yeah, the scientists.
Yeah. But I mean, all she did was watch cartoons that made America seem like a villain. Like I don't know if you caught the cartoon in the hut, but it was like the nomad showed up in the cartoon.
Like it was like an anime. It was like an anime style.
Oh, that's cool.
With the nomad being like the enemy
that.
and like planes flying to it and shit. Yeah. I was like that was a cool touch.
Yeah, that was dope.
I mean, I don't know if that's a plot hole. I just was confused. I'm like, aren't these the ones who are like the good guys? That's the side she's on.
Yeah.
And they're like, stun her, let's get her out of here.
I mean, take that scientist that when Joshua goes in and finds her, and that scientist runs in, shoots him once, and goes, "You have to go now," and just fucks off. Like,
and that's it.
Yeah.
The thing about Alfie is like it's a cool idea, but it just felt like
garbage. Yeah,
they didn't figure out exactly how it's gonna all work, right?
I mean, it's tough to have like an all powerful character in a story without being like, well, she just uses her powers and solves every problem. But so that's not really a good story.
It wasn't even that happened, right? Like she solved some problems, which was cool, and like the way that they use her powers in some scenes was okay. Like the thing with the car where they're looking for them and she turns everything off and just turns the car on and drives really fast. That was fine, right? It's not all of the times that she uses her power is the problem. The problem is how like inconsistent everything is. Right, and also there's that point where she gets shot. Right, and then she like faints. I guess I didn't know robots fainted, but I guess
they're like Nirmata will fix her.
Yeah, that's exactly what I was gonna ask. I was like, take her to Nirmata. I was like, oh fuck, Maya's gonna fix her. And then you get there and she's just sleeping.
She's in a coma.
Yeah, she's in a coma, and Alfie's just sleeping beside her. I'm like, how did she get healed then?
I honestly thought that Nirmata was just gonna be somebody else. Like
that would have been better, I think.
Right, she's dead. Sorry, bro. You watched her die. Because they already covered why he saw her with all the robots and the city, right? Lilat City. So that's fine.
I thought it was just going to be one of the.
That was a red
clones.
herring, if I've ever seen one.
Sure, yeah. Or
did you think it was going to be an Nirmata clone?
Yeah, that would have worked too.
So she because they never explained how she survived getting nuked, anyways.
No, they just waved a hand over that.
Yeah, everyone knows when you get nuked. Worst case scenario, you're in a coma. That's the very worst case.
Your body suffers no physical injuries that you can see. All that happens is you're sleeping.
It's more mental warfare.
Yeah,
nuclear bombs.
It was a mental missile that you took. Yeah. And I don't understand like the whole thing goes. Oh, let's bring her to Nirmata, and then we know that you see that Nirmata is dead essentially. Right. But she still got healed. How does that work?
Science.
He got you there.
I do.
It's true.
The one thing that's been bugging me, and I don't know if this is an Alfie plot hole, but it's probably the last thing we should talk about before we move on to our fun questions. So Nirmata tells Josh that, like, AI are good and they're good people and they're not bad, and they say, oh, it's a coding error, and everybody's supposed to love AI, and Nirmata's supposed to be the champion of AI, designing AI and helping them win this war.
She's Robo Mary Magdalene.
Isn't it a little fucked up that she creates a child that has to kill itself to win the war for the AI?
Not just a little fucked up. It's completely fucked up. A child that was modeled after her own actual human child.
Yeah.
But what's the plan for it not? I think they only said that he was going to, if they do it that way, where they right now fly her up to stop the thing, it would kill her.
Right, but
I don't think that was the plan.
But I don't think. But what was the plan then? Because you created something like the war was already fucked. You can't tell me that everybody's like, hey, we'll be fine for the next 18 years, and then we'll use the weapon and be good. Like
Maybe she didn't know when she was going to be powerful enough to just shut everything off.
I mean,
they implied that you could do it from anywhere as long as you got powerful enough, right?
You're telling me that if you make a super weapon that will kill all life, you're not making it a child?
No, I want it to happen now, not in 12 to 18 years.
Yeah, and like that's a good question. Why is it that it will take this long for her powers to develop? She's not organic.
She's buffering.
Like the longest YouTube video of the history of time and space.
It's an update. It's an update. It comes every year. There's a new update.
Like it's just
by Apple computers.
Yeah, like it's fine. I just it's just a departure from the AI are the good. The AI are the good people. You can't tell me that like this person took a kid and was like it's cool you made a kid, and it's like, oh, we can combine. AI can learn and grow like humans. That's a powerful message. But then make a bomb over on the right side and keep the kid out of it.
Or at least like give me a reason to understand why it is the way that it is. Maybe it needed to be like, maybe it was supposed to be like a hybrid between a human and an AI.
Yeah, so it's buffering. I got it.
Here's the answer, guys.
Yeah. Buffering.
She knew that her husband would eventually come for the child looking for her, and he would be the only way of getting that kid onto the Nomad.
Oh,
So
wow.
She didn't know her
to make
husband
it
was
look-
a turncoat when she made the kid.
She knew it subconsciously.
Oh my god.
No, that's a stretch. No.
That's the stretch, not the rest.
Yeah, she made the maybe she made the clone of. Why was she making the clone of the baby in the first place? Was it just to make a weapon? Because she was having a baby.
This is the question I'm asking.
But
You know what?
Yeah, it's like
When I
none of
say it,
that-
I get it.
None of that makes sense.
Yeah.
They like that monk AI explains it, but it doesn't make sense. Or maybe it was Ken Watanabe.
I can
that
say
explained it.
nonsense. It doesn't make just fucking fill in
Yeah,
the
'cause
logic.
she clones
Because
her
she used love.
current baby.
She said she used the love she had for the child or whatever.
What,
She said
I think-
something like that.
I think she said she used the love that she had for him
Yeah.
Or that
and put
that's
it
even
into the
worse.
robot.
Right. Which is all fine, but
No, it's not fine. You're building robots. You can't use
Yeah, well, if
ideologies as
Interstellar
ingredients.
can do it, this movie can.
Listen, okay, I think we've nailed this. I have some questions we need to tackle that I think will answer these outlying questions we have.
Okay.
Spencer, you're saying that we can't infuse love, which is fair. But then I ask you, what are the 3 laws of robotics for this movie? How are
shit.
robots supposed to act around humans?
The rules of robotics in this movie
Yeah.
are you have to take care of children and always do good so your enemies look bad.
Is that
always,
one rule or 2?
No, that's one. It's a battle of optics.
Okay.
Rule number 2, you can have sex with
But you can't have sex, but you can watch strippers.
you can have sex but only with humans. Yeah, who put that rule in?
Okay.
Some perv.
Okay.
And the 3rd?
you can be a bomb if you want to, but you have to be polite and salute
and
those.
honorable.
And you have to honorably salute those who send you to your death.
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, I mean they're basically the same as Asimov's 3. So
Oh,
What,
yeah,
what are
that's
Asimov's
correct.
again?
Just-
Thou shalt. Well, you can't hurt. Thou shalt not hurt.
a robot may not injure a human being or
Yeah.
through inaction allow a human being to come to harm. A robot must obey orders given to it by human beings except where such orders would conflict with the first law.
Yep.
And a robot must protect its own existence as long as such protection does not conflict with law 1 or 2.
And
That's
there's
just good writing
there's
right
the
there.
0th law as well, which comes in later movies, but it's the same. It's like
I
you
said 3. I
shouldn't-
don't need a 4th. Get it.
What's the 0th law?
It's a robot can't let humanity be harmed, or by inaction allow humanity to be harmed.
Yeah,
That just allows it to kill all humanity to defend humanity from destroying itself.
No, it's
That's
that's why it's the 0th law. But anyway,
It's
Oh,
like it's just adding another law. It's like making one, but saying it differently. They can go fuck themselves.
Yeah, fuck that shit.
yeah, the laws of robotic of this movie are much better.
Yeah, obviously. Luciano, do you have any other laws you think that Spencer might have missed?
I think there was a corollary to one of the laws that Spencer made, which is you must always let yourself be killed in the most gruesome way in front of children.
Okay.
That's a very important law. I think they all abide by it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's the only one that was
Yeah,
missing.
you have to always do the right thing. Every time they cut to the robots, they're like doing something so nice while the
Yeah.
America's just
Like singing
decimating them.
"Kumbaya" with a kid,
like handing kids like penicillin coming out of a fire with like
Yeah.
cats and old ladies.
Are, are the AI just Ewoks? Yes or no?
Yes.
The Ewoks in disguise.
Yeah.
Jump.
For
Jump,
me,
jump.
Matt, and I'm pretty sure it happened for you too. This is just a bunch of zenyatas
Oh, yeah.
together.
Everywhere.
Just because the Eastern thing and the peaceful thing
And then the monk thing.
and the monk thing,
Yeah.
I was like, come on. And they hit you upside the head so much with that.
I was
I got
ready
a
for-
concussion midway
You-
through this movie.
You have to be team AI after like halfway into
Not
halfway into this movie. 10
Like-
minutes in this movie, you're
Yeah.
like, oh, so the AI are the good guys.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Easily.
Like I would
Even-
have liked a little nuance, but that's
Even
fine.
like Ken Watanabe goes, you know what will happen when we win this war? Nothing.
Yeah.
Because we just want to live in peace.
We just want to live in peace. Cut to
Yeah.
the human putting a gun to a dog's head.
Yeah. Hey, tanks walking over, like just running
Tanks
over.
running.
Yeah.
Children. Tell me where the dog gets it.
America!
Who's
Fuck
the
yeah!
bad guys here?
It's not even like Americans were only killing AI. They're like, oh, we got to kill a couple thousand, 100,000 new
No,
Asians. It's cool.
When they go into that base, they even say that when the guy says, "Why do you protect AI? Why are you protecting them?"
Shoot! I will shoot your dog so fast. And I just picture like that meme, where it's like the Germans. It's like, are we the baddies?
yeah,
You know, like, that's like I picture one American soldier just watching the massacre in a small town.
Let's answer this question because I think it segues nicely from this. And what I want to know is, what is New Asia? Why is New Asia? Where is New Asia? When is New Asia? Who is New Asia? And how is New
I
Asia?
think how is the most important.
I would also say where is the most important, as in where is their government,
or
That's
their
fair.
military.
they're in a perpetual war with America, and America's just free flowing, like has
Well-
like a weapon of mass destruction flying through the airspace.
Every time there's a response to the violence that the military does, it's the police that comes. It's not never ever a military force.
Well, and this ties into it, but like I love how at the very end they're like, "Oh, the world's protesting about the nomad." I'm like, now
the anti-nomad faction or whatever.
they've been war criming.
War criming.
War criming.
War criming.
They've been war criming for like a decade.
War criming sounds like the name of like a B-side of a CCR single that never came
Right.
out. Yeah.
War criming across the east side.
Yeah. And it's like they've been war criming for like a decade. And like, where's the world on
Yeah,
like being like, hey,
that's
America,
true.
can you just stop blowing up another fucking country?
Don't you understand? The world is divided in two. It's West and New Asia, and that's it.
That's all. Yeah.
But
Yeah.
why is it like if you wanted to be the West, you could have just put UN on the side of the tank, which put U.S. Army. Like, he's
And-
clearly the U.S.
And a better question is, Asia has no defense. New Asia has no defense whatsoever. How do they need this thing to win the war?
Yeah, exactly.
There's no one to fight.
Yeah.
They're just killing.
I also
Not a
love how
battle.
that general in the beginning says, we don't have any problem with the people of New Asia. It's just the AI, and then cut to them fucking murdering children. Yeah.
He's like, it's just the AI and the ASIANS.
Ooh, oof.
And the dogs.
And the dogs.
And the DOGs.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't like, and the police is so like it's. I was thinking, like, I was just running through when because they had a warrant, like they had like this
Sure.
wanted
Yeah,
poster for Alfie and Taylor, right?
Mhm.
And the moment they arrive, like on that car with the children, the police stops them. I'm like, oh fuck, they're not gonna be able to go anywhere.
Yeah.
And they escape because apparently police doesn't know how to shoot tires. Like
No.
they have like 7 or 8 policemen there. They shoot that car, and the car just goes.
I don't
But then-
know how AI can aim. I
Yeah,
have no idea.
ever. But then,
Stormtrooper program.
yeah, 100%.
Instead of the shooting program, we downloaded Star Trek's episodes 1 through 6.
It's
and put
the
it into
Imperial
their
Marksmanship
computer.
Academy all
Yeah.
over again. Yeah, but then like they go to, they get away from that family that they almost had murdered just because they helped them, and they
Yep.
buy a bus ticket, which is one of the main ways that people run away from the police.
Correct.
They are able to buy one. They board the bus, and then they get through a checkpoint with the bus, and nobody
Easily.
stops them. So like,
Yeah, that's Alfie's magic. I mean, computer
yeah.
powers.
Don't worry, that random guy in Leland City found them. Reported
Yeah,
them
and
to the
then
cops.
got like, how many people did
Oh,
they
yeah,
have
that
go
guy, that
into?
was so random.
The guy finds him, and then the simulant guy goes in there, bombs the other guy's girlfriend with the Chinese takeout or the ice cream takeout,
Yeah.
Yep.
and then him and like 10 other robot soldiers go in, and Taylor does them all in by himself.
He's
I really thought that was going to be an opportunity for Alfie to
Control
do
them.
something.
pop
That's
off.
what I thought
Yeah,
too.
yeah.
Yeah.
Instead, he
Okay.
fucking one man.
And-
He
and,
solos
like-
them.
And like,
So okay, I gotta
have
steer
you-
you back because you're just
I'm
you're just
going
ranting.
to New Asia.
Yeah,
No, I'm going
yeah.
to New Asia.
This is not a continuation. This is a rant, sir. I need you to wrap it in so we can talk about the rest of New Asia, not just their cops.
Well, yeah, I'm going to New Asia now because I was like,
Why were
is
you
it-
not in
Were you
New
not
Asia
in
to
New
start
Asia
with?
the whole
I
time?
was just talking about police. It's a side of New Asia, right?
Talk
We're
about
gonna have-
something else. I asked. So I had all of the who,
Yeah.
what, where, why, how. You're just fixated on the cops.
On the how, yeah. No, I was just gonna ask: is it like supposed to be the entirety of like from Russia to India to
It's
Vietnam?
Vietnam. I told you that already. and
Oh,
a bit of
is it-
Thailand.
Yeah.
Vietnam? Well,
Vietnam and
Nepal,
Thailand.
and Tibet.
Yeah. It's all the poor, already the poors.
Oh no.
Because
Yeah.
like they don't talk about China at all.
No,
They don't
or
talk about
Japan.
Japan at all.
Although Ken Watanabe speaks Japanese, I think the most I've ever seen him speak Japanese in a Hollywood movie.
Sure, because it's just convenient to have an extra language in there, right? It's like
But
so
that's what I
that
was gonna
shows
ask.
the New Asia about it.
Like
Yeah,
they
yeah,
all
totally.
speak their own language and they all understand it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Right?
I think they made a. I don't know if they made a language for the movie, but my subtitles in the movie said "speaking New Asian," not speaking.
No. I was watching on Disney.
Me too.
Eh, Well, I saw speaking in Thai. I saw that a
I saw
bunch.
speaking in Thai too, and I saw speaking
Yeah.
in Japanese. But
And
a
New
lot of
Asian?
the time, it said "speaking New Asian."
Okay, fair enough.
That's not good.
I didn't catch that. But yeah, so and I think like I understand the lack of specificity. It makes it easier to make the movie, so then no country can be pissed off.
Yeah,
like
this
in
way
the
all
real
countries can be pissed off.
world, right? But it's like it just that's what I wanted from the world building. Is I want explain how we got to New Asia, just
Yeah.
a little bit, just
Yeah.
a smidgen,
And a
because-
little bit of like how they're not being
How their
destroyed.
government works.
Yeah,
how are
what-
they
what the
waging
Why-
war?
responses-
why there was no response, why it's just a bunch
Yeah.
of like ragtag rebels and like the cops barely doing anything.
If it's a 10-year war that they've been fighting, what has New Asia been fighting with? Just the AI?
and the police. That's it's true.
I
Whenever
know.
they're like, there's any response, it's the police. Just make the police in this movie the new Asian military, and it solves a lot of these problems. Because it's like, oh, at least they're doing something.
Maybe,
being
but they're also
competent about it,
killing
but-
their citizens too to get to get the kid back.
That's true. That's
like
true.
they're not helping.
Oh shit, that's true. Yeah.
Like to me, it just feels weird that like the rebels are fighting, but the New Asian police are just like, as long as they don't kill us, I guess we won't care. Like there are like war criminals operating their territory nonstop, and no one other than like this band of like rebels gives a shit. And I just like I feel like
they catch Allison Janney's character.
the police do, yeah.
But
it's like
then she escapes.
She escapes immediately
quickly after.
But that's my thing. It's like, shouldn't the New Asian government like just show me they're trying or show me why they're not trying, right? It's just like,
like I don't mind if they're
it.
not trying or they're not there, and you could just say like, oh, this New Asia is maybe it is like made up of poor countries that don't have a defense.
The most gigantic commune ever invented by mankind.
Sure,
but
there's no centralized government. There's
just say that, but you can't say that and then also say America needs the nomad, the super weapon, otherwise we'll lose. Yeah. You can't have both of those. So that would be the contradiction in that.
Even if you're saying like the U.S. showed up for the nomad, we weren't prepared. It decimated all of our. Great, done. Now we know why we're here.
Yeah, exactly.
Great.
Or like the military is completely tied up in like trying to defend the borders, for example.
Sure.
So that's how they were able to kind of infiltrate a small force.
Maybe, but that doesn't explain why no one's doing anything
when they're openly bombing their cities.
Well, yeah, but I mean, like,
and
at
having
least
monster tanks
show that they're
run through
doing
their
something.
towns.
Like, give me a reason to believe that they need like a fucking planet killer in orbit to win this war.
Only one robot did anything. That AI that got like a sticky bomb and threw it on the side of the tank, and apparently that fucking blew the whole tank.
No, it just stopped. The whole tank
just shuttered the whole tank inside and liquefied all the bodies or something, and that was the end of it.
No, but he didn't successfully blow up that tank. It was the monkey.
Oh yeah,
no, that's right.
Monkey blew up the tank
because he couldn't. He also couldn't because I don't think AIs can kill humans.
Then how is this a battle? Like what are you talking about? You could walk in. No, they can kill humans. They can kill humans. They can't kill their mental.
You brought up the monkey who is on this, so that the New Asian army clearly has trained monkeys to help them fight.
Obviously,
and it's the Simian division. That's the elite fighters are. It's the Simian division.
And we noticed that the U.S. has infiltrated a number of dogs into New Asia to help stop the police from killing their soldiers.
And when they threaten to kill them, that's an act.
That's
actually undercover agents.
That's it. They know it's cool, right? To keep their cover real high.
Yeah.
I got to know about that dog, though. I want to know about that dog that saved Josh and Alfie and brought that grenade back to and blew up the entire police force.
He's the real hero of this movie.
He's the real hero. I want to know, like, what is his deal? What is his service record? Like, what is his rank? How many medals? How many awards has that dog won? Like, he is killing it.
He has
literally
more
and figuratively
confirmed kills than any person in the entire rebel. Same with that monkey. That monkey and that dog have the entirety of kills of the American army.
Yeah, combined, they killed more people than Nomad.
Than all of New Asia is killed. Those
definitely, because New Asia didn't kill anybody except each other.
Well, literally, that's like the only time you see the American army lose any soldiers.
Yep.
I think is when the monkey blows up the ship, and when the dog drops a bomb on them. Was there like a planned plot that they couldn't kill?
The dog dropped the bomb on the police.
Yeah,
on the New Asian police.
Yes, sorry, but that was still their work. Those animals are working with the rebels, or
no, they're each on. One's on. Like the dog works for the American army.
That's right. The dog's an undercover American soldier.
So tell me about this dog. I want to know. What's his rank? What's his like? Does he have a bunch of war medals? He has Purple Heart.
100% has a couple of Purple Hearts.
Yeah.
Got one more for
Purple Hearts.
Puppy Hearts.
Well, that just sounds gross.
And he got another one for saving Josh for sure.
Yeah, but not Alfie because Alfie's not a real person.
Yeah, but at least he saved Josh.
Yeah, that's fine.
I would say he's at least a major. Has to be.
Yeah.
It's a crime
a major,
like
he's a major now, but he wasn't a major during the time of the war.
No. Battlefield promotion.
Yeah,
that makes sense. That makes sense.
He was
accommodations.
He was a captain before.
Yeah.
And who works under him? Who is he giving orders to? If he's
actually, Josh works under him. That's
He was they were undercover together. That's why he went to that place because he knew the dog was there from his time undercover.
Yeah, he had to report into that dog every month.
That was his commanding officer.
Exactly.
So they killed my wife and my unborn child.
Captain Rex, Joshua reporting.
Captain Rex,
Sergeant
I don't
Taylor.
think humping my leg is an appropriate response to my wife being killed, but all right.
No, he lets the dog humps the prosthetic leg.
Oh, okay, that's fine.
Yeah, that's what he does. Yeah, I think so. Captain Rex, that's his name.
And what was the rank of the monkey that worked for the New Asia?
Good question. He's
Private.
private.
He just started.
Yeah, corporal.
He's a
Corporal.
private.
Yeah,
That's
That's
corporal,
the
yeah.
real. That's the real battle. I wanted to see that
Yeah.
dog go against that monkey for the true owner of the AI.
They're the only ones that do anything.
Yeah.
It's like King Kong versus
it's-
Godzilla.
I think he has 157 confirmed kills.
Wow,
Captain Rex.
Yeah,
Captain Rex does.
yeah.
Yeah.
That dog's a
Mo-
monster.
most of them by being a good boy and fetching grenades and bringing them back.
Yeah, they're all
Fair enough.
accidental. He can't keep getting away with it.
That's how that's why they don't know they can't catch them because they just think the dog's just following dog behavior.
Exactly. He hides
Um,
it. That's how he's undercover.
Yeah, I have a couple more questions about the robots, and then we should probably wrap this up. One, why do the robots want to watch robot strippers so much?
I mean,
Why?
How? When? No. How, why? What is it about that hot robot stripper action that gets them going?
sometimes you just need to oil up the old nuts and bolts if you catch the drift.
What really gets to me in that scene is that she has like robotic legs.
Yep.
And like a human torso, and the human torso is covered, but the legs are bare.
And then that's like a reverse mermaid.
That's
Like,
the
it's
hot.
like
That's the hot part.
the hot part's
That's
on the
hot
bottom.
part.
Yeah.
It's like a reverse mermaid. The fish part's on top.
Yeah.
They're like, damn, she's fine.
Yeah.
Just gotta,
From the
look
waist
at those
down.
Look at those hinges go.
Yeah.
those-
She's the only one who has a 270-degree arc on those hinges. It's like, woo-wee. Yeah.
who built that baby?
I don't know.
Spencer?
Something geometry porn. I don't know.
No, you already nailed it. I don't know why you had to
Yeah, you don't have to keep pushing.
You can stop. The joke was made, and then you ruined it
Alright,
with your
fine.
weird.
You say, what did the sexy robot say to the AI bot? 00100.
See, he made it one worse
There
than mine.
you go.
Thanks, Bender. You son of a bitch.
That was the robot's pickup line.
All right. Well, we're gonna move past that. I want to
Please.
know one more thing. How does a robot get a face? Because
That's
there's
a
like
good question.
there are a bunch of like Ken Watanabe and like Gemma Chan face ended up on robots and like the
Well, they have that whole
the cop
support,
like-
support AI. Donate your likeness, right? They
No, but like I know how they get faces, like but like
what's the choice? How do they choose?
yeah, like if I'm a robot that just has like the like the little flat grill face, how do I get that?
Oh,
Human
I
face
see what
upgrade.
you mean. How do you get upgraded from a toaster to a human-looking face?
Yeah,
That's a good
know-
question.
Are the toasters jealous of the ones with faces?
right. Because the ones with
definitely.
faces apparently just have all range of emotions, and I don't know if the AI non-faces do. Like they hold children, but like, do they feel anything?
Maybe it's like us, like we're like celebrities. They get like plastic surgery. That's how like you have to be successful.
Right, but then
Robot
why would they
to
choose
have
the face of an
access.
old lady like some of them did?
Yeah.
They don't know about age,
They would.
but they
I feel
don't.
like-
They don't think age is like sexy but they're just like that. They're like, I just want a face so I can emote
I can
and
emote.
like, and I can use my fucking lips when I'm eating food for no reason.
So,
Fair enough.
I think it's like a status thing. It's like, oh,
So like,
it's
that bot
it's
got
their
got
service
work done.
record.
You see that guy's face? I think he had work done.
so basically they like are so I'm gonna go for it. Who cares? You know how China has like the point system?
Oh
Yes.
no, yeah.
They have that for AI in New Asia.
Oh, I see what you mean.
You get enough points,
You,
you
get
can
enough
pick your.
points to get a face.
You could pick your face.
Wait,
if you get, like,
but if you
10 if you
lose
get
points,
10,000
do you lose a face?
Yeah, well, so you get 10,000 points, get you like We'll give you a random face.
No, we'll give you a foot.
Do they have human feet too? Or I thought it was just a face.
No,
think
they
it's
had
just a
human
face.
bodies too, didn't they?
A little, the parts of.
It really
human
just
body.
showed the face and then clothing. I didn't really. Anyways, 10,000 points gets you any face,
a random face.
random face. But if you get like 25,000 points, you can pick your face.
Right.
Whoa.
But if you lose, if you go below points,
They
take your
stick the
face.
they stick the toaster back in your face.
yeah,
Keep
yeah,
that attitude up. I'll take your face.
exactly.
I'll take that face.
Yeah, and so that's why like
I
the
think
only
that makes
cop that
sense.
had a face was like he was like the a sergeant or a detective because he had enough points to.
Yeah,
To get a face.
It definitely wasn't about his competence as a cop. I'll tell you.
No, he was bad.
that.
He was very bad at his job.
Imagine they got my face. God, that'd be such a disappointment for them. This is the face I get.
Yes, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
You should have had more points.
You should have, yeah. You should have opted
Didn't want
for
to
the
get stuck
choose your
with that.
face.
Yeah.
Should
The
have
most
been
ridiculous
better.
thing in the movie is when I saw that thing being like, donate your likeness. I'm like,
Right.
motherfuckers, we could make a AI generated face now that's not anybody.
That's true.
Think
Why
what,
would
they
you
can't
need
do
to
that in
donate
fucking
your
50
likeness?
years. Yeah.
Yeah,
That
yeah.
seems to be like opposite of what you'd want.
Yeah.
Like it seems like a nightmare logistically of like 100 people with the same face.
Right. So like someone does crime, like and I get a video, but it's just of a face, and it's like you gave it to the
Wasn't
replicant,
me.
so it's like
Wasn't me.
wasn't me,
Yeah.
But they got you on the camera.
wasn't me,
Yeah.
But you got a new face.
Wasn't me.
This is a good point to segue because I'm getting into another point that frustrated me about this movie, and I think we should just do our reviews because we can get those little tiny frustrations out or happinesses if you want to talk about that in your score. But we give a review on all of our movies. We use the S tier system. S is the top, F is the lowest. Mostly everything ends up in the middle for whatever reasons. We're not trying to do that. We just pick that way.
Sometimes we give Fs.
No.
Fair
It's
enough.
true. It's
I've
true.
never given
like
an A.
last time. Yeah.
Like last time.
S has never happened for sure.
Listen, we'll start high, Spencer.
Oh, that's foreshadowing.
It's just higher than Luciano. That's all I know.
Yeah, like I said, this movie was I don't want to say fun. It was not fun, but it was a good movie. It was like it was well made. It was like a drama, like with some heavy, content and subject matter. Although it wasn't landed with the most. How do I say this? They didn't land it with class. It wasn't subtly done.
They
So
smashed it
it's-
into the Hudson. We get it.
Yeah, I was
It
going
was-
to say it flew well, but then smashed into a mountain.
Yeah.
Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, it wasn't. It was a little heavy-handed with the allegory, but all in all, I liked the movie. And like I said before, it was visually really good. It was like the world seemed cool and like a little different. And yeah, for like it's from what I know, it's an original story too, which is always cool.
Yeah.
It wasn't perfect, as we've pointed out very clearly, but at least it wasn't like fucking the 10th iteration of a property we've seen a billion times. So I give it credit there.
Yeah.
So it looked cool, well directed, well acted. Like I said, the holes in the plot are all the diminishing. I won't get into those because you talked about it for the last fucking hour. But so other than those issues we talked about, I liked it. So I'm gonna give it a B, solid B.
Wow.
Told you
Yeah.
it was going to be high. Luciano, please shit all over this movie at your leisure.
I'm not gonna shit as much as you think I am. I don't think. But so I mean, we've belabored all of the points, so I'm not gonna go too far into it. It's I think it had promise. I like that it's like Spencer said, it's a new story. That's always good, and the acting was good. The overall ideas were good, but like the implementation, like you said, the landing was just bad. And you said a little heavy-handed. For me, it was so heavy-handed that like it hit me. Like I said this before, it hit me in the head with what it was trying to say so much that I have a concussion right now. And it progressively made me madder and madder as I was watching. And when it got to that end, I was just like seething. So like when I started watching, when it got to the middle, and I was like, maybe this is gonna be like a C, but like no, this is almost an E, but it's a D for me.
Really?
There's some
That low?
good ideas, there is some interesting stuff, but like overall, it just sucked at the movie. I wouldn't watch it again.
I wouldn't watch it again either. I don't think, but I think you're wrong. I think I'm right.
It's
Matt,
a
what do
different
you think?
podcast. It's a different podcast. We don't say that anymore.
Yeah, sorry.
I'm gonna do what all cowards do, and I'm just gonna put it right in the middle. I'm gonna give it a C. It's you guys have covered it essentially. I think that had really good ideas, directed well, acted well. The thing that bugged me, and this is probably maybe too picky at times, but a lot of things were shown only for the purpose of doing something else later they thought was cool. You know, for example, being like, oh, you can submit your face for replicants just so they can have an excuse to have a Gemma Chan show up in the end of the movie, so Josh can
I fucking hate
Same
that
with the
so much.
saving the memory. For
Yeah.
the exact same
the USB
reason.
memory stick, like
And so you can have that ending.
literal memory stick.
Yeah, and so it's like, and they used that at one point to like ask the guy a question of where they're going, and it's like,
my wife.
yeah, they like, it's like they tried to do it a bit, but there's so many times where it's just like we can all see we're just doing this enough to do something else,
Yeah,
and that like gets frustrating and tiring, right? Like if the movie was tight, those things would happen and they'd be used in meaningful ways, as well as, and then it connects. Like, oh yeah, I guess they would use that at the end, right? But like, and like I don't know if we talked about it, but like, the idea that like they're just gonna take a brain swipe of the person who's the vegetable, whose brain probably hasn't worked in many many years, but that's neither here nor there, and then put it into a robot body, and then she's gonna wake up when the last thing she basically remembers is her husband massive betrayal.
Yeah, and then seeing
getting
immediately.
Nuked, and then immediately kissed him like she missed him and loved him. It's just like, did I miss something in this movie?
Yeah.
So it's just shit like that where it's just like, it was fun, I had good ideas, but it's just like, you didn't really land that plane, guys. Like that's like,
landed like the nomad.
if anybody, if you've ever had a wife, like your wife doesn't just forget little things that easily sometimes, let alone like the ultimate betrayal of all times.
So I on that scene happened, I literally wrote on my notes, "Fuck this movie in the ass." I actually wrote that.
So like, so like when I watch it again, no, because it's really hard to watch a movie like this again. Like the fun is in the story and getting the story, but there's no replay
Fun
value.
not being the operative word, though.
Yeah, like the experience, right? Like
Yeah.
it was it's an emotional experience, and that's fun to get out of dramatic movies. But I don't rewatch movies to get the same lesser impacting dramatic experience, right? Like I watched the movie again because I want to turn my brain off and watch John Wick roll downstairs for 10 minutes.
That's why I have a movie for you.
Fucking hell.
So
Yeah.
So they, for me, it's a C.
Well, you're more right than Luciano, but not as right.
Not as right
me.
as you. I mean, I think that's probably a fair thing to say, I guess.
Fair
Yeah, you're definitely entitled to your wrong opinion, Spencer. It's fine.
If you guys were to guess what Chris thought of this movie without having any concept, what rating would you think he'd give it?
Oh, that's a fun game.
That's good. Well, I know one thing. He hates when kids get into are mistreated.
This would be an F.
He would really not like that.
You're right. This would be an F. He would say Taylor and Maya are terrible parents. This is an F.
Yeah.
This is
and
worse
all
than
those
Morbius.
kids got
That's what
killed
he would
by
say.
America. That was unnecessary.
Yeah. It would either be that.
But then he'd say like, but the lasers reminded me of an old cartoon from 1975, and that takes us to the Dr. Dre album with marijuana. And I'm not a big fan of drugs, but
somehow it would touch on Doctor Who.
yeah.
And then it would be an S.
Fair enough.
No, I think he'd give this movie. I think he's usually a little more. Me and him tend to be on the same page, which is a bit terrifing, considering what an absolute madman he is.
Not always.
But often, I think he'd probably be with you, Matt.
The best thing about you're being on the same page as Chris is you're on that page for completely different reasons.
Yeah, that's true.
Sometimes opposing reasons.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. All right. Well, that's the end of our 2023 movie reviews. We picked movies that were popular at the box office as a way to see if they were good or not. I mean, did we pick good movies? No one knows, and we'll never be able to figure it out. But we're gonna move on. Next week, we are watching a movie that was not well received at the box office that surprised all of us. Mission Impossible 75 Dead Reckoning Part 1.
Oh, at the box office, it wasn't well received. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's true. The reviews weren't bad from what I recall.
Yeah,
But we'll make up our own minds.
we will make up our
Yeah.
own minds, so feel free to watch that.
I actually only recently watched I had watched Mission Impossible 1, 2, and 3 when they came out, and then I never watched anything else. And only recently I watched the other movies. So I was actually really looking forward to Dead Reckoning because the last one, Rogue Nation, I think it was actually really good.
What is this, the Mission Impossible podcast?
Yeah, it will be next week. It will
Save
be
that
next week.
shit for next week.
Yeah, save it for next week. Don't worry, I'm sure this movie's fine. They definitely didn't, change production on the next movie and change the title, so it had no relation to
They
Dead
definitely
Reckoning Part
didn't
1.
do that for
Uh-oh.
a reason.
Uh-oh.
It's fine. Don't worry
This
about
is
it.
Dead Reckoning Part 1. There will be no Part 2.
There will be no Part 2.
Oh my god.
Don't worry about it. It's fine. So yeah, join us next week. Hopefully Chris will be back, and we will watch Dead Reckoning Part 1 of 1.
It's technically still right if it's just the one part.
Fair enough.
All right.
And if you don't tune in next week, this dog is going to get it at the count of 3. 1,